right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Standing Your Truth with Confidence, a platform where it's judgment free. You can come and tell your testimonies, your journeys, your trials, tribulations, without being afraid. Your past builds character and makes you who you are today, and not be ashamed about it. Throughout the episodes, I've been inviting different guests on to tell their stories, hoping to reach other people, making it comfortable for them to live in their own skin and be comfortable with it. So today we have Mr. DavidYoung. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Long time no see.
Yes.
I don't know, you still at Spectrum?
I am.
You are? How long you been there?
Oh my God, since 2011.
11? Okay, so I came in 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So have you always teach there for doing art?
I have, and of course, back then the school that I was working for was Ace Academy.
Right.
And I believe it was probably, 2020 or 21 that the school moved out. And I moved out with them, and they had us placed, in various schools such as JDF, Detroit, Wolverine, and one of the schools they put me in was Riverbend. But Covenant took over the school within Spectrum, and after a year, they got a hold of me and taught me into coming back, and I came back.
Okay, first of all, JDF.
Yes.
You went down to JDF?
Yes.
So JDF is now where Miss Fernandez is now, right?
Yes.
On Dickerson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they're waiting to move into the new building.
And where's that one at?
Off 75.
So
By the Russell building.
they're going to, so the Russell's not going to be where you do your shows anymore?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you actually drive past there, the new JDF is probably bigger than the Russell building, so you can't miss it. Big white building off 75.
And they didn't start it already?
They have started already. I don't believe they're in there now, but it's going to be part JDF and it's going to be part the state police, I believe, in that building.
Wow. So the old JDF, is that now turning into the county building?
I believe it is empty right now downtown. I'm
Right.
not sure what they're going to do with that facility.
Right. I went over to Dickerson and I seen Johnson.
Yes.
Who asked me to come back.
Okay.
That didn't happen, but I do miss the kids. But then I seen them on the news twice.
Yes.
So is that still going on?
Yeah, I would say like back when you were there, we had some different type of kids, of course. You get some of the good ones and some of the bad ones. The ones we're getting now, and just to put this in a nutshell, if you're ever watching the news or reading the news and you see all these different things going on with the car thefts and all of these young people get caught with guns, then pretty much those are the ones we're getting right now.
So when I was watching the news, this was actually kids assaulting kids, not staff assaulting kids.
Yes.
Then another mother came on the news stating that her son was recently assaulted. But they also were saying understaffed.
Yes.
Staff weren't watching out for the children. They was allowing certain things other than the assaults to happen. So I just decided against it. Then I asked about the mandation, and that's still...
Yes, and the reason for all of the understaff, they'll do a big hiring day, and they'll hire all these people in, and you're like, oh, wow, new staff coming in.
Right.
Sometimes you get people that come in, and they don't quite make... pass the test the rest of the way, due to drug screening. And
Criminal
then
background.
sometimes they come in and the pay is kind of low and they end up going somewhere where the pay is better. And some people just don't like that being in that particular environment.
Yeah.
And so you always have a number of people quitting. So that's why they're always understaffed.
Understaffed. Is it still overworked and underpaid?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's one of my questions though.
Uh-huh.
So it's nice seeing you. I ask all my guests when they come on, standing your truth with confidence. What does that phrase mean to you?
Standing your truth of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, to me, it means just know who I am,
Mm.
know how much I am worth,
Mm.
and know my abilities and what I have, my gift to the world.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, has there ever been a time where you was afraid to live in your truth, or you was embarrassed to live in your truth?
Probably off and on throughout the beginning of my college days to going into my career to being a father, taking care of a daughter and wondering, am I making enough to raise a daughter? You know, am I making enough to make a living? So sometimes it comes across my mind.
Right. So I thought I was by myself, and I see as I keep interviewing, I'm not, and it usually hit on early on in your life, like teenager, becoming a young adult in college. Um, I'm finding out that I wasn't by myself, and it wasn't as bad as I really thought it was. But because I didn't have that support to say, Tamika, it's okay, it's all right, you made a bad decision, or not so much of a bad decision as what somebody else may have thought was a bad decision. And my decision was ultimately right for me in that space that I was in. But me worrying about what other people talking about, and even now, when you speak, like even now, you becoming a father, I always had that in the back of my head, like, am I doing the right thing, or is somebody gonna say something? But I'm learning to take on constructive criticism. Not everybody is in that space to harm you or don't have your best interest. So, very rare you find someone that I see what you're doing. I see you trying, and as long as you trying, you doing something. Because if you just don't do anything at all, like how would you ever know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's becoming more comfortable for me. Yeah.
That's good.
It is. It's very good. How did you deal with it?
There were, I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
So prayer life, church life has always been, in my upbringing. And so some nights that, you ever heard the song, I have to cry sometimes.
Yes.
And that's nice that, you have to get on your knees, you have to pray sometimes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just have to get out there and just hustle. And just prove yourself.
Yeah. To you, though.
Exactly.
To you.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I had a moment earlier this week. I try not to let my kids, see me. It's very rare I break down, but, it's those times where I just got to get it all out. Like, okay, God, I got it. I just had to get that out, And somehow, some way, he showed me or let me see that, okay, Tamika, you got it all out. It's another bump in the road, as it is going to be in life. You good?
Yes, that is
Move
awesome.
on.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, and you're making me feel so comfortable. So, I did see a post. This guy. Yeah.
Speak to the little boy in me.
Yes. Always. And I don't know if all the males got a little boy in them and the women got a little girl in them. I do sometimes feel myself talking to the little girl in me, because what little girl don't want to be... Well, I look at my dad as being that male hero in my life, but when you move on in life, you look for a husband or that significant other. And it's good to be in that space.
Yes.
Somebody got your best interest, safety and security, don't want nothing to happen to you or allow anything to happen to you. So that's that little girl in me,
Yes.
And I don't know if I do want a better relationship with my dad, and we have a relationship, as there's no feud or anything, but that little girl in me, always wants her dad, or that protection, I guess. So yeah, that's the little girl in me. So I love this picture, and it speaks volumes. As big as he is, as strong as he looks, he still got that little boy in him.
Exactly.
But we get through it. We get out of it. So, born and raised in Detroit?
I was not. I was actually born in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Oh.
And can't quite remember how many years I spent in Mississippi, but we lived in Memphis, Tennessee, which is where I moved from. So in '91, we moved from Memphis to Saginaw, Michigan, which is a little small town.
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe that was a good thing for me. I was just not going into high school then,
Okay.
but it changed my perspective. It changed the environment that I was living in at the time in Memphis. So I grew up, kind of like a little rough
Yeah.
life in Memphis. And so when I moved to Michigan in Saginaw, the school I was in was a melting pot. So it wasn't just all predominantly black.
Yeah.
I saw the black kids and the white kids and the Hispanic kids and the Asian kids. And what blew my mind, I believe this was probably my first day or first week of school, is when I seen like this 6-foot white dude with a black trench coat walking the hallways with a green mohawk. And then I knew I was in a totally different environment. Never seen anything like that in Memphis.
Yeah. Right. So Memphis, I hear the rappers and whatnot. When you say rough, like some areas of Detroit or worse?
Okay, so I hear first of all, they say it's bad everywhere you go, no matter what city.
Absolutely.
Chicago, St. Louis, Los Angeles.
There's a hood everywhere.
Yes, there's a hood everywhere. The part of Memphis that I grew up in, I was pretty much in the mix. And although I live in Detroit now, I don't live in some of the areas where a lot of the high crimes are.
Yeah.
Of course, I hear about it and I see it in the news, but during that time in Memphis, I was right there in the middle of it. My life was threatened a couple of times in school and on the way from school, and I've seen gangs jump other people in the streets. I've seen women getting raped in the streets, and this was all in the daytime with my own eyes.
No, okay, okay, the fight and whatnot, not rape.
Yes, on the school playground.
So it did change your life coming to coming to Michigan.
I'm like, it's time to grab that cognac like Cat Williams.
Right. That's going to be a question. Hold on. Wow. As a little kid?
As a kid, yes. I was in middle school.
Middle school?
Yes.
Wow. So coming to Saginaw in your high school years, so you had already seen it all, lived it all, been in it all. Dad around?
Yes,
Mom and Dad?
My father and mom were around, although they separated back, off and on, throughout the years. But yes, Dad was always still in my life.
Good. Was that a good feeling?
Yes,
it was. It was.
Yes.
Okay. Was he involved like you are?
Yes.
The algebra's like, good. That's where you might get it from. Okay. Siblings?
Yes, one older sister who lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, she stayed? Well, okay. Is North Carolina different from Mississippi, or is it?
It's different. Probably not that many hours as far as driving. Of course, they're both, still in the southern parts. Yes, but it's a little bit different. I still have yet to visit North Carolina because not only does my sister live there, but my best friend Jason is also in North Carolina.
That's got to be your next trip.
Yes.
As I see you moving around like that. So, when did art become your passion?
Art was my passion all the way from day one.
Day one.
I can remember the days of being a kid, laying across the floor, coloring, drawing, until I got to middle school. Is where my technique of drawing picked up. I was drawing everywhere, in the home. When I was at church, I was drawing on the back of the offering envelopes. In school, I was drawing inside of the classroom books.
Any walls?
The bathroom walls, yes.
I think everybody wrote on the bathroom walls, but wow, yeah. But your art, that kind of stand out. They'll probably know who did your artwork.
Probably now that it's being aired, yes.
Yeah. That is being aired. Well, they can't do nothing about it. They'll be going back too far. So is this around the time where you were getting bullied?
Yes, I was. Well, a large part of my life and living in Memphis, I was getting bullied for the fact that we were poor.
Yeah.
I didn't have all of the fancy clothes and the shoes like everybody. Now back then, the shoes to have were the Reebok,
Yeah.
the British Knights,
Yeah.
of course, the Converse and the Nikes, and I don't believe Jordan shoes was really in or even big during that time.
Right.
Most people were into the British Knights and not the Air Force Ones, but all of the shoes that you don't really normally hear about
now.
Yes.
So, are you familiar with Pro Wings?
Yes.
Yeah. So all of the shoes you said we didn't have, we had those.
Yeah, and so I remember one day my mom purchased me some shoes from Payless. I thought they were nice looking, and the name of the shoes, what was on them, were NBA. And so I'm like, oh, she bought me some NBA shoes.
Right?
I went to school the next day, and they laughed me out of the school.
What did it mean?
The kids said NBA. That stands for niggas buy anything.
Really?
I didn't wear them no more after that.
So what shoes did you go to school in?
My old ones.
Old ones?
Yes.
Well, we didn't have a choice but wear them. I think Pro Wings were probably worse than the NBAs.
Okay.
They were hard. They sound like I had on dress shoes walking down the hallway.
Wow.
Again, I probably was laughed at, wasn't picked on, but I felt a low self-esteem about myself because I didn't have on what everybody had on. However, when I got older, I seen, one, it was too many of us to be buying British Knights, Reeboks. You remember LA Gears?
I do.
We couldn't even get them, but it was a lot of us. And we wasn't dirty or anything. We was well kept. It's just we didn't have on the expensive things.
Yes.
So, and kids can be very cruel. Not knowing the situation, it just is what it is. You don't have what they got or what their parents can do. But I'm pretty sure if my mom and dad could have afforded it, we probably would have had it. And my dad was old school. We wore, going to church, our dresses was way down there to our ankles, literally covered up like, not the Chaldeans, but the Arabics, you know how the women, I think my daddy wanted us to be covered up, even my mama.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the good part about when I moved to Michigan, living in Memphis, going to a predominantly black school, seemed like most of the black kids cared about the name brands and the clothing that they wore. So when I moved to Michigan and went to a melting pot school, everybody was wearing everything, and it was, you still saw the name brands, but you saw things where like, what are those? Of course, this was during the time when the Jodeci boots started coming in, so people were wearing the Jodeci boots, and so different type of clothing.
And a different era, but I could just say we were blessed, so
Yes.
Yeah. So you were picked on about, just being poor.
Just being poor and clothes being raggedy and old people looking clothing instead of my age.
Newer,
right.
Yeah. So how did you handle that? Did it steer you? Were you starting to act out? Angry?
I didn't act out, and because my life had got threatened a couple of different times, I was really, really leaning towards either joining a gang or to start selling drugs so I could start making money. And just before I can really start making those decisions is when we moved to another state, and that saved my life.
Yeah. So when you were threatened, were there situations that you put yourself in, or guys just picked
Well, in one particular situation, I was just coming home from school one day, and one of the school kids, Philip, who I knew very well.
Remember his name?
Yeah, those traumas, you don't forget about those childhood traumas. But Philip, I remember one day he came up to me while I was walking home from school and started talking to me. Then he just took out a knife and put it to my neck and started laughing. And he said, "What would you do if I cut your throat?" And I didn't do nothing or say anything, just kind of like a little teardrop came down. And he saw that and took the knife away and said, "I'm just effing with you." But this was the same kid I also saw one day in school, had a gun in school. So I knew what he was capable of doing.
Right, right. So was it he in a gang?
I don't know if he was in a gang or not. I just know that just sitting here with weapons, a gun here and a knife here, he wasn't the guy to be messing around with.
Right, right. So were you involved or around the gangs to know even that you was thinking about joining?
I didn't know any gangs. I saw gang writings on the wall, which were the disciples at the time. I didn't know anything about the gang colors or the streets that they lived on. I just said one day, if I need to, I'll just walk up to one of them and tell them I'm interested. And if I have to be jumped in, then I was willing to sacrifice myself.
Wow. Just living life and going through what you was going through, that was about to be the decision.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm glad y'all moved.
Thank you. Yes, me too.
Yeah, wow. Being an art teacher, now you didn't start off at Spectrum.
No.
So when you attended college, were you going for art as well?
Actually, I remember when I first enrolled in college, it was a community college in Saginaw, Michigan, Delta College. I didn't really have any idea where my thoughts were as far as the career choices that I wanted to do. You know, in the back of my mind back then, I wanted to be a movie director.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to do all sort of things, and I also wanted to do things with my art, and teaching was not one of them. I never thought about that. And it wasn't until one day where I signed up to be in the AmeriCorps program. And the AmeriCorps back then was started by Bill Clinton. And it was a 2-year program where they fund, you know, your college tuition and books. And while they're paying for that, they also pay you on the side to wherever the organization puts you. Now, the organization will put in people to work in the police department and various organizations. They just happened to put me into a school. And in the school that I was working at, one day one of the teachers told me that, Mr. Young, you ought to be an art teacher. I believe that is your calling. And although they were using me as a teacher assistant then, I was still going to the classroom drawing for kids and show them how to draw. And then that's where some of the teachers planted a seed in me. And you got to be an art teacher. And so from then I changed my major, and it's history.
Right, and fell in love with it. Okay. So you started at that school. You went on to other various schools?
Oh, yes. I started off at that school, and once I was done with the AmeriCorps program, my 2 years was up. I didn't know what I was going to do next as far as an employment, and I was already working within Saginaw Public Schools. And so at the end of the AmeriCorps program, one of the directors, Don Scott, who was in Saginaw Public School at the time, kept me on board, and they actually hired me. I made a better wage as a teacher assistant then, and also they allowed me to go to school while I was working in
At
the school.
Wow. Blessing, blessing. And you just went on from there, huh?
Yes.
Good, good. So you at Comerica Park too, huh?
I am at Comerica Park, my second job. I've been there now for 7 years.
7?
Yes.
So you was there when we were at Spectrum too?
Yes.
Wait a minute, I left at 19. Yeah, I left at 19. Wow, that's almost 5 years. Wow. Wow, go back. So, were you ever thinking about doing anything besides art?
Yes, I wanted to be a movie director. Also, at some point in my life, you know, I had an uncle who was in the Navy. I wanted to go into the Navy. I love the water. I love ships. And although I don't regret it now, I love being a father of a 6-year-old daughter. Sometimes I wonder what would my life have been like if I had went into the Navy and been able to see some different places overseas.
Yeah. You wasn't scared?
Of going into the Navy? No, and I won't be scared if I was to go into the Navy today.
You would? So do all of them, the Army, the Navy, the Marines is the Navy, right?
Yes. Well,
So,
part of the
part
branch,
of it.
yes.
So all of them don't go fight, right?
Mm, well, no, you have different. As far as my understanding, all the branches can be engaged in fighting if need to be, but most of them are training. Some are training, learn how to train on the ground, train in the air, train underwater or on top of water. So we have different ways that we train our men and women as soldiers over here.
So you didn't look into it, huh?
Yes,
And you'll go today.
I would have went to that.
You would have. Okay,
Yes.
right. Might be better than over here. So, the art shows that you're involved in.
Yes.
Who introduced you? I'm gonna get into some of the names. But how did you get started with the art shows and talent shows?
I believe I probably first got started with the art shows just in my college days of being able to exhibit for college campus exhibitions, and then after that, word of mouth, getting involved with this person or this organization, and exhibiting my artwork. But it wasn't until I moved to Detroit where started networking and becoming friends with people. One of the people is Dee Jackson, who does a lot of events here in Detroit. She allows me to do a lot of different art exhibitions, and most of those are my erotic side of the art world.
We're gonna get into that. What made you venture off into the erotic part of art?
Wow, well, maybe venture off into it. That actually goes back to my childhood.
Your childhood?
Yes, so I told this story once before. I was getting interviewed probably a couple of months ago at one of my art events, but basically I was thrown off guard. I was being interviewed in front of the crowd about how did I get started with this. Well, probably later elementary, maybe beginning of middle school, I discovered one of my uncles having Hustler magazines, Playboy magazines, Penthouse magazines. And of course, you know what that does to a child when a child finds
absolutely.
that. Most
Get
kids,
curious.
most kids will get excited.
Yep.
And God knows what they do with those.
Right.
One of the things that I really enjoyed doing with them was taking them home and sketching the women that I saw in those magazines.
And you could?
Yes.
Back then? I know you can't now.
Then,
Yeah,
yes.
back then?
Yes.
Really?
That was my practice. My practice.
So do you just have a thought or a view in your head, or you have to see the picture?
I need to see the picture.
Yeah. I like those pieces. Trap glow. I seen body paint.
Yes, Trap Glow also is through Dee Jackson. She has an organization here called Sedalis Productions, and I'm sending her the shout out now.
Absolutely.
But Trap Glow is where we did body painting and glow in the dark painting, and so I did that one time. It was fun, but after that, I knew that it wasn't fulfilling to me, and I just wanted to stay into my lane in the art world. And so I get sometimes asked, can I do those? Can I do body paints again? And I just try to stay away most of the time. And now that I'm actually dating, you have to be careful with what you say yes to and what you agree with. So.
Okay, before dating, was it fun?
And it's still fun, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yes, before dating, yes, it was fun. But you're talking about being really up close and being able to touch another woman's body. So but that's probably not one of the reasons why I don't do it now. It's just that I just enjoy painting on canvas more than an actual body as my canvas. Once you're done painting on the body, they got to wash that off. But my art forever lives on the canvas.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Flowers open mic.
Yes, that was the event where I was being interviewed, hosted by Rose of Detroit, Michigan. And they actually contacted me a few months ago about exhibiting my artwork, and so that was my first time. The event was awesome. I loved it, and of course they told me they would love for me to come back. So I'm just waiting to hear the invitations to come back to exhibit my art at Flowers.
Okay. So does these shows go on a couple times a year, or just like once a year, one big one?
I believe they do it, if not once a month, every other month.
Really?
Using a different artist, yes.
Oh, okay.
And I was
Okay.
the featured artist during that time when they sent me the invitation.
So are you able to bring a collective?
Yes, I
Of it.
brought up probably 20 of different pieces of my artwork, set it up for everybody to see.
Can you sell some there?
Yes.
Okay. I see you at what was it? Is it Foreplay?
Poetic
you write-
Foreplay.
Okay.
This Poetic Foreplay is where I do majority of my art exhibitions and
Okay.
sell more of my work. Poetic Foreplay, again, that is put on by D. Jackson of Sedalis Production.
Oh wow!
Yes.
I'm gonna come to them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll definitely invite you to my next event.
Well, I do security at the Russell. When you okay, what was that
for
show
The Dirty
called?
Show.
The Dirty Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Dirty Show is probably one of the biggest
Yeah.
art
Yes.
exhibition, but also the biggest erotic art exhibition.
Really?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I believe this year was probably maybe my 4th year of being in the Dirty Show.
I did security there 3 times, and boy, was I in shock.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do believe I recall you working there, or you told me you was working there one time.
Yeah, we were there. This last one, last
Yes,
year. Absolutely. As when you, I don't know, just being in different area and knowing different people, you get to see different things. Like, that's really going on.
Yes.
I remember when we first was talking about it. I'm like, so they just walking around naked. Even Davis told me, it was like, yeah, you walk in, they giving you the drink with everything out. I'm like, for real? She like, yes. So when I started doing security and seeing it, I was like, okay.
And the performances that you see on the stage.
I didn't get a chance to see
Oh,
that.
you did? Okay.
Because I got to be at the door, you know?
Oh, yeah, you probably would have been shocked. Yeah. I remember the first year I was there was a guy on stage painting a portrait on canvas with his penis as his paintbrush. Yes. You need that cognac.
Yeah.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
Young, how?
Yes, he would use his
It
penis
was-
as his paintbrush. He would dip his private in the different colors of the paint and actually paint on canvas. And obviously,
He said, obviously.
he practiced that a lot because he was very good with it.
Really?
Yes.
Just how that set up. How do you, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it one time, but I say no. I'm gonna just keep using the brush.
Right.
Yeah, but
'Cause
definitely, who knows where that could have took my career.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how do you, because
Come
it got to
upon that.
be.
Decide I want to use this instead of a brush. Yes.
How can you use it?
It probably comes from finger painting. When you use your fingers as painting.
Right.
And this
Yeah,
guy
that's
probably
totally
discovered, like,
different.
wait a minute, there's an 11th finger here.
Right.
Yeah.
Bigger than a finger.
Oh, yes.
So, how can you use it? It has to stay up there.
Well, you use it the same way as you use a paintbrush, depending on your brush strokes. As I'm painting.
Done.
Yeah, as I'm painting, I may need to paint the canvas a certain way. So I would decide if I want the big brush or the smaller brush or the brush that is slanted. So I have different type of brushes depending on what I want to paint. Now that's the
Right.
thing, because when you use your penis, you can't change to the different brushes. You still just have that one tool.
How does it stay a brush, if you know what I'm saying?
There's ways out there to keep
okay.
it going as a brush if you need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you just invite me to the next one. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't even see how that works. How you sit there, like, what, okay. Wow. Okay. Is it sexy paint? and sit with a sexy twist?
The sip and paint parties that I do,
Yes.
not all of them are sexy paint. Some of them are just regular sip and paint parties. You
Okay.
know, whenever I get booked for those,
Okay.
I always ask the person who's hiring me, what is your theme for that night? Whether it's a birthday party or whatever type of party it is, what is your theme? What exactly is it that you want to paint? Now, and yes, we do the erotic ones, and so those where we will actually do more of sexy painting. And the one we did last year, we had one live female nude model, and there
Why
were men
female?
out there painting, and but the majority of the people attending the night were females. And at the end of the night, they said, David, the next time you do this, we want a live male
Yeah.
nude
who's-
model. And I said, okay, you know, we'll work on that. And I probably won't be the one that's, you know, being the model.
Well,
But we do have one coming up next month, and I don't have the information of the date and
Just
the
send
place.
everything to
yeah,
me.
I'll send
Yeah.
everything to you.
A
But
male?
We have both the male and the female
Okay.
model
That's
for
fair.
that night.
Okay. All right. Were the guys good?
Yes.
Oh, they were?
Uh-huh.
I think we got to just get that out of our minds and we'll be okay, because it's probably going to be a shock to me 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably be staring first. You know, I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable, but it's just, that's a different type of art.
It is, and one of the first things that I do, now of course not everyone drinks, but the people who are there drinking, just to help get them started and to break the ice, I always have
Yeah.
everybody just to take a sip, whatever you're sipping on, and therefore it helps them now
Yeah,
to relax and
okay.
to
Be easy.
ease into the atmosphere.
Yeah, okay. Ease into the atmosphere. Okay, we already talked about the Dirty Show. We talked about Poetic Foreplay. Hosting the Rooftop. So you say you haven't done it yet, but that's your next
Yes, that's going to
project.
be my next project, and I don't think anyone in Detroit has done it yet. So I'm trying to go ahead and get on it now, so I can be the first one.
Absolutely.
And wherever I do it at, well, you know, now Detroit has like so many different rooftop areas, and I probably would like to just host them at different spots. But for right now, I want to just be able to just grab a rooftop and host that event and do it
Yes.
annually.
Yes. I don't think we have a problem with bees up there either. Because you know when the summer hit or spring
Okay,
hit,
yes.
the bees go crazy. So that's a good idea. Ooh, relaxing. So, when did you start painting celebrities?
Oh, wow. So I started painting celebrities. I remember who I painted a celebrity for. I probably can't remember the year. If I just had to take a guess, it might have been back, I don't know, 2017, maybe 18, where a dear high school friend of mine, Brandy, actually, she's a big Prince fan.
Oh.
And so she wanted me to paint Prince. And so I painted Prince for her at that particular time, and she loved it. And next thing you know, she commissioned me again to do another one and another one and another one. So I believe altogether, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Brandy has probably purchased 4, maybe 5 different Prince paintings from me. And so during that time when I was painting for her, I would always show social media or advertising on social media what I was doing, and other people started wanting them. So next thing you know, I got a whole press going of doing Prince paintings. And I haven't gotten into printing yet. And I know a lot of people say you should print your work, but I still love to just be able to paint everything authentically, so whenever the purchase my painting, they don't just have a print, they have a real DavidYoung painting on their wall. So that's why I haven't gotten into printing yet. But painting celebrities actually grew from just doing the prints, because D. Jackson, who I just mentioned to you, that hosts my art exhibition, I believe D. Jackson probably probably owns maybe like 10 different of my paintings.
Celebrities or just period?
Different celebrities,
Okay.
yes. And so where that took me then, if you were to Google Motown Airbnb, the owner of Motown Airbnb is ran by Dave King, and the Motown Airbnb is only just a few buildings away from Hitsville, USA.
Yep.
And so when I first connected with David years ago, probably about 5, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, he told me what his idea was, what his vision was, and he already told me he saw my work and loved my work, but I didn't know if I was still ready for his vision, and so I basically created one painting for him, and he loved it, and then he wanted another one and another one. So to this day, if you book Motown Airbnb, which is where I just had my birthday party at,
I see.
there's 3 levels, including a basement, and I did a huge mural in the backyard wall of the Airbnb. And when you enter the building, you can go in the basement. I have some paintings in the basement. I have paintings on the first level, second level, and the third level. So my art is all throughout the house.
In the Motown house?
In the Motown Airbnb, yes.
I know you got pictures.
Yes, I have pictures. Not on me, but yeah, they're on my social media.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I don't know if it let me go back that far, but I'm gonna take a look at it. Wow, that's big to be a part of that. Wow, Young, congrats.
Thank you.
I did see. Well, I've always in Spectrum how you just draw and had the kids. Lenny Kravitz, I seen that one. You were big. Did you do Stevie Wonder? I want to say.
I did Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross.
In Spectrum, when you did the big pictures and they had to do each square.
Oh, the drawing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have so many different drawings on the wall to this day.
Yeah.
Different celebrities, different types of drawings. Yes.
Oh, I liked it. I seen Michael. I seen Aaliyah. I liked it, Usher. Like, and it seemed like every painting you getting more and more like detail, like, and it's really looking like that person. That's a great idea. How you have the big picture, like a close up, then one of they dance
and
moves.
the silhouette. Yes.
Yeah, the silhouette. Yeah, I like that. So, Great Lakes Talent Show. How did you become a judge?
I was asked to be a judge. I believe I've done that particular talent show twice. I was asked from someone that lives in Saginaw if I could be a judge. And I did it one year. It was wonderful. And I did it for the second time last year. And it was also wonderful. And I'm very honored, whenever someone asks me to do anything like that for the community. And although I don't live in Saginaw no more, you can see where I participate in that. But also for the last 7 years, I've been the artist for the Saginaw African Cultural Festival.
I've seen that. So, the Saginaw, what do you do there again?
I have a little tent where I paint with the kids.
Oh, okay.
It's actually sort of like the same thing, sip and paint, but except with the kids, they come over to my tent and sit at the tables and the chairs, and they paint to whatever it is that I've sketched on the canvas during that year.
So you just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everything.
Yes.
So when you lived out in Saginaw, you got familiar with everybody?
Yes.
Okay. And they knew you know how to do all the art? Okay. So at that talent show, what is all type of talent? Singing,
it is,
dancing?
Mostly singing, dancing, playing instruments.
Okay.
And it's similar to the setup of American Idol or America Got Talent. And a little pause break, because I do remember you singing. Oh my goodness, I missed that voice of yours.
Oh my God, I was just about to ask, what was the age range?
Yeah, the age range were high school kids.
High school kids, yeah. I still dib and dab, not too much. I went to The Voice, and I had to come back home due to my kids.
Okay, yeah.
When you go on those type of things, you giving up your job, your house, your kids got to be, and it just wasn't, people don't raise your kids like you will.
Yeah.
And the guy I was seeing for 8 years, I have to give a huge thank you to. He was willing, and none of my kids were his. He was willing to take on that responsibility.
Wow.
But I just felt like I was going to quit Spectrum.
Okay.
And because I think he had a job, but I was more of the breadwinner. So a lot of my income was going to be gone. And I just didn't want to leave that responsibility, even though I knew he could have done it. I just didn't want to. That's a huge responsibility, leaving on somebody and none of them their kids. But I truly thanked him. He went to Chicago with me. He was going to Atlanta with me, and in Atlanta I had to make the decision. And my kids called me with some issues, and I just got discouraged. Like, cause even if I would have stayed in Atlanta, I went to the third round, and you know the third round to the seventh round, then you get to meet Christina Aguilera, Adam Levine, all of them. You know, had I got way up there, I probably would have been still crying today.
Oh my
you
goodness.
know,
Yes.
So I didn't even want to do that to myself. So I never even showed my kids, you know, what sacrifice I had to make. You know, I just came back home. You know. But he was a very big help to me and my kids.
That's awesome.
You know, in those 8 years.
Yeah, and I only know because, you know, I know that the gifts and the abilities that I have, they're God given.
Yeah.
And I do know that whenever God blesses you with a gift, now you may want something during this time and it may not be for you, but whenever God does something for you, he have his moment and his time.
Yeah.
And it's coming your way.
Yeah.
God knows when the timing is. So when it's your time to get out there and do what it is that
Whatever
you do,
it is.
that he bless you with, you will know it.
Yeah. And I feel it. I feel like last high school year, my baby is next year. And I feel like it's my time to, you know, whatever he was saving me from or saving them from, you know, it just had to happen. So now that my youngest is about to be 17,
Wow.
this is my time. So I'm going to take, and whatever it is, I still did funerals and weddings and whatnot, but it's my therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever I'm going through anything, I can put on Fred Hammond when I sing You're the Best, Tamla Man. Those are my secret weapons.
Yeah. And many people don't know it, know this, and I don't share too often, but if you're familiar with Jessica Reedy, who is a gospel artist now, Jessica Reedy started when the show was coming on BET during that time called Sunday's Best, hosted by Kirk Franklin.
Yes.
And doing, this is probably one of the first couple of years when the show first started. I was living in Saginaw at the time. I was married at the time, and I was raising my nephew, DeMario, at the time. And DeMario and Jessica Reedy were friends. They went to Saginaw High School together, and they both decided that, hey, we're going to audition for Sunday's Best.
So
they came, they stayed the night at my house that particular night, and then I remember them just singing and rehearsing in the house and everything. And the next day, they got in the car and they drove to Atlanta for the audition. And each day, my nephew would call me to give me the updates. And, you know, I think he made maybe the first couple of rounds. And then after that, he was put out. But Jessica kept making it each round. And then next thing you know, it's on TV. And there's Jessica. And she won it all. And today, she is one of the biggest gospel artists.
Really?
Yes, Jessica Reedy.
Did she? Thanks, David. I stayed at your house.
Yes.
Did she?
Well, she, of course, her and my nephew still talk, so we don't talk like that. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, you know,
she still remember.
You know, I didn't audition, but I practiced the night
Absolutely.
before at David's house.
Yeah, it is. It's, I don't know. It's something with music. It's just, I don't know. It's so healing for me. I don't know. I love it. All right. Acting. I didn't know you act.
Yes, I don't do too much acting now, but growing up, actually from middle school to high school, even in college, I did a lot of acting, did a lot of stage plays, community stage plays, and school plays and church plays.
So I see you just did, what was it, Messiah?
When I played the Messiah.
Was that recently?
That wasn't recent. That was years ago when I lived in Saginaw.
Oh, okay.
And I believe I probably played the character of Jesus maybe like 2 times, maybe 3 times. And you wouldn't believe it, but after I was done playing the role of Jesus, I accepted the role of Satan. And I kid you not, but if you would talk to any one of my friends or church members that I went to, they would tell you that I was the Denzel Washington of Satan. Yes, they said you.
I didn't see that one.
Yes, they said you worked that role. I had the kids in there screaming and crying and
Really?
I didn't want to give away too many of my secrets because this is a church play.
Yeah.
But to help myself get ready for that role, I would actually bring my earphones and my music to help me to get ready for that role. And one of the things I used to listen to.
I was about to ask.
One of the things I was listening to in church was Marilyn Manson, because he took me there. Mm-hmm. He got me ready for that role. Now,
really?
You know that Marilyn Manson is not the guy to be playing in the church.
Exactly.
But he got me ready for that role, yes.
Wow. Did you play him again or just that one time?
I believe I played Satan probably maybe 3 times.
You didn't love it, and I liked it.
Yes.
So you played it more than Jesus?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you tell me why?
I felt more comfort.
Really?
In myself. Playing the part of Jesus. I mean, Jesus is a respectable man.
Absolutely. You wasn't there yet?
Well, I mean, you have to just be particular, to how you are reading the scripts and quoting the scripts. With Satan, I was able to ad-lib a lot.
Oh.
And I loved it. And I could get in and out of character at will. Make
had
up
fun.
my own script. Oh, yes, I had fun.
You made up your own script?
Yes, and sometimes, I believe this one particular time I played Satan, I thought to myself during that particular time, like, okay, you're doing this too good. You're getting in this too much.
Too much. Calm down.
Calm down, because I don't want to get kicked out the church.
They started believing it?
Yes.
Speaking of church, Mr. Bishop Carlton Pearson.
Carlton Pearson, yes.
Yeah. Was he a pastor in Saginaw?
No. Carlton Pearson is actually a pastor in Oklahoma, Azusa. And back in the 90s, he had all of these different conferences called the Azusa. And although I never really attended any of his conferences, my church was really into Bishop Pearson and his conferences. There were some things going on with him being a pastor and being a leader. And I can't quote everything, the decisions he made, but there was one particular day where he wanted to move into another direction where the church was headed. And I believe one of that direction, and I don't want to misquote him, everybody is already saved versus some people come into the house of the Lord. You're saved or you're not saved. I believe Carlton Pearson's idea was we're already saved under God's grace. And so therefore, there are a lot of churches disagreeing with him and moved away from his message and his theology. And Lifetime actually picked that story up and they made a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but Lifetime played this movie years ago. Very good movie. So all you have to do is just Google Carlton Pearson, Lifetime movie, very good movie. And the movie explains everything.
Everything. Yeah. So he's not a Christian, Baptist, or anything. What does he?
I believe he started out in the Pentecostal and ended up just being, I don't know what
he's not an atheist, is he?
No, not atheist. No, he still believes in God.
Right, okay.
Still love God, but I believe he went into more of non-denomination.
Denomination,
yes.
So I'm still learning, because my question is, if we all serving the same God, why is there so many names?
Right, so many names, so many churches. Why does everybody have church different ways? Like you can go to a white church. Church is totally different. You can go to a black church, and they basically are climbing the rooftop. You know, so everybody serves God
a different way. does it make it right? Yeah, these are my questions.
Right.
I sometimes study with Jehovah's Witnesses
Mm-hmm.
only because I can get that one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Bible study in church, you can't, and I ask a million questions only because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just got a lot of questions. So I just try to read the Bible from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I may call my mama because, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's the Bible queen. You can't tell her. She don't know
Mm-hmm.
nothing about the Bible. But yes, may he rest in peace. I did see that he had
Yes.
passed with cancer. You know what type of cancer he has?
I want to say, I believe it was pancreas cancer.
Pancreas.
If
Oh,
not-
yep, it was.
Pancreas.
I did. He did state it. Yeah, right now, so they say my mom has 2 lung cancers.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're seeing a holistic doctor and see
Yes.
if we can work through it. Because it's only what the doctor says and who
Mhm.
says they know what they're talking about. So I'm learning that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, when did you decide or know you wanted children?
Wow. Well, so the funny story is, even I'm divorced now, and I was married for 14 years, and my ex-wife then wasn't able to have children. You know, she had some complications, and one of them was MS, and the doctors basically advised against having children. But I would probably say that in high school, I've always dreamed of having a daughter.
Really?
Having a daughter, yes. And even after my divorce, I was back out there in the dating world, meeting different people, going out once again, and this time, didn't get married, just basically just dating,
Yeah.
and dated this one particular woman, and I remember the particular day she told me that I was going to be a father, and that was probably the best day of my life.
Oh. Well, I can't even ask you if you wanted a boy or girl because you wanted a girl.
Yeah, actually, I believe during that time I was so excited. It didn't matter if it was a boy or a girl. Yeah.
Right. So you have been waiting a minute, and it.
Yes.
So how did you come up with the name?
Algebra. One of my favorite singers is Algebra Bissett.
Oh.
Algebra is. I would put her in the same genre as Jill Scott, Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
And I love her music. And during the time where I was looking for names for my daughter, I was coming up with all different type of names, and I was showing them to different people, friends and family, and they would say no, no. And one particular name that I liked was Storm. And my nephew said, no, don't name her that. She said she's not an X-Men. And so I said, okay. So I said, Storm, it's not. I'm going to do Storm. And so when I did Algebra, both her mom and I loved that name, and we stuck with it. And when we first introduced the name Algebra to family and friends, nobody liked it. But after that, everyone loved it.
Wow. And it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks like an algebra. You know how algebra is just busy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's definitely busy.
Yeah, I see, and everything. And I do want to take a moment to tell you, you are the epitome of a father.
Wow, thank you.
Not just from what I hear, but I see. She is just involved with everything. You guys go out, have dinner. The way you're involved with getting her hair done, even though it did look tight. So I do agree with you on that. But yeah, Jesus. Is that a challenge?
It is a challenge.
Yeah.
Yes, just raising a daughter. It's not like you have a son, you just take him to the barbershop, get his hair cut. Girls, because she loves being a girly girl, and I love it. She loves her pink, her purple, and her glitter, her unicorns.
Yes.
And so I just love keeping her being girly.
Yeah, yeah. And she is Wednesday Adams.
Yes, for Halloween.
Bianca. I love that. She's just so involved with everything, like big, bubbly personality. It just never ends. I just want to know, how did she fall in love with Wednesday?
I don't. There's so many different shows she like and characters she like. Wednesday is just one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's been in love with Wednesday. She watched both Addams Family animation movies.
Yeah.
And she also love the series that comes on Netflix. Wednesday, yes. So she loves Wednesday Adams.
Did you get the doll yet?
I did not get the doll. That thing just looked too spooky.
It do.
Yeah.
But to kids, it just, you'll probably walk in and be like, okay, baby, we got to put this up because this is good. But yes.
Yeah.
To her, she's probably not even, it doesn't even look.
I don't know, because for Christmas, I remember one time when she was in daycare, the daycare gave her a bunch of different Christmas gifts, and one of them was a nice little pretty black doll with a lot of hair. And I don't know if you remember the dolls, but the eyelids will like flip up and up and down, and sometimes depending on how you put it down, the way it's sitting, one eye is open, one is closed. And she brought that doll to me one day, and she said, "I don't want this no more. It looks too scary." I said, "Okay, baby." And I didn't want to throw it away in front of her face in case she came back the next day and changed her mind. So I put the doll out of reach, out of viewing for her. And after a week, when she didn't ask about it, I went on to throw it away.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, those type of dolls, when you lay them back, they go to sleep. You sit them, it was probably, how they, after so long, the eye just got a little lazy. Yeah. So, yeah, I did want to commend you on being a father, being so active in her life. You are the first example as a male to her, and you're showing her along the way. So
thank you.
I have to give you a kudos to that. I wish my babies had that. So I see she's involved with painting.
Yes.
I see the, was it the 100? Is it the
100 Days of School
project, and she did it?
Yes.
You did the hearts for her, but everything else
yes,
she did?
I try to let her take control over the project. And, of course, me being an art dad, I step in where I need to step in, but I still just give her full...
The free range.
Free range and creativity for her own project.
And she is. I think she's looking at your art and knowing where to go with it and how she wants to. Oh, I think that's so amazing. Getting her hair done. I see she went to Cedar Point when she was a baby, and when she was 5, she was helping you peel the corn.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's what I wanted to ask. You got a garden?
Yes, I do a garden every year.
We need to get back to that. That's how you staying healthy?
Well, there's one. I need to get back on it now, but I pretty much had cut all the carbs, sugar, breads, pasta out of my diet, and I was just only consuming proteins and vegetables.
But back then we used to grow our foods. They was much healthier.
Yes.
We need to get back to that. When I seen her peeling them, I said, I know Young do not got no garden. We need to get back to that. So what do you grow besides corn?
Oh my God, I love growing all different type of peppers because I love peppers. Hot and mild peppers. I love growing squash, zucchinis, all different type of tomatoes. Yes, from the little cherry tomatoes to the big tomatoes. I tried to do watermelon one time, but I believe something got into my garden and ate my watermelon.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay. So when you go looking for the seeds, is it a particular spot you go to buy all your seeds?
Yes, I like going to different greenhouses where they have all of the different plants that you can grow. And you'll learn, being in Michigan, we have some hot days, but not many hot days. So you have to learn what's the right fruits and vegetables to grow. Fortunately, watermelon is not one of the best type of fruit to grow.
Really?
Unless you have a particular greenhouse where you can control the temperatures.
Right.
But me doing an outside garden, and it may be sunny some days, it may not, it may rain some days. So pretty much you can grow strawberries, peppers, tomatoes almost anywhere, anytime.
I miss fried green tomatoes.
Yes.
You make those? Oh, Jesus, I miss them. Dad, you got to make some. Y'all go to the Tigers game, the school trips. So you go on every school trip? Did she?
Not every school trip, but I'm actually getting older. I'm volunteering more to participate.
Y'all going to the Pistons game? I seen her out there shoveling snow. That was too cute, yeah.
Oh my gosh, she loves shoveling, and and I don't be the one to say, hey baby, come on here. She see me out there shoveling, so she want to put on her little boots and come up and help dad.
You been to the daddy-daughter dance yet? Not one of them yet?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to one.
I know. Oh, y'all gonna look so cute. You mentioned the Saginaw African Festival, school involvement, the Cat in the Hat. I loved it. The 100-Day Project. Bianca being her favorite wrestler. How'd she get into wrestling? You?
I'm a huge wrestling fan, and so now the lady who I'm currently dating now, we have a huge debate because she don't believe that wrestling is the world for kids, and I mean, I can almost agree, but at the same time I can disagree.
Yeah.
When you watch wrestling, you see families out there in the audience, and you see a bunch of kids out there in the audience, and the kids are holding up their signs, and they're in the front row waiting till their favorite wrestler come by to give them a high five. So I grew up as a kid watching wrestling, and my daughter see me watching it.
Yeah.
She likes her characters on wrestling, and I know that although wrestling is script, it's not real. It does show violence, but for me, I think I turned out okay for being a kid.
Exactly.
But so I don't know if I necessarily want to keep my daughter away from that because I do want to take her to some wrestling events.
Exactly.
WrestleMania. So.
But you know what, Young? She's so smart and intelligent. She's gonna be able to tell you, Daddy, at that time, at that moment, that ain't real, or they just playing. So, like you said, it could be a yes or a no. But I think that's a good thing. Like, even with Santa Claus, that's not real. And there's going to be a time when you have to tell her that it's not. So I think she's going to be smart and intelligent.
And she still have a question because just a couple of weeks ago, she watched Harry Potter movie for the first time. She loved it, and after the movie, she asked me, was Harry Potter real? And I said, no, baby, it's not real.
Aww.
It's just a movie.
Yeah.
And so...
all the magic.
Yes, and so in time, when she wants to know about wrestling, of course I'll tell her it's not real. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
But everything on TV is entertainment.
Yeah.
Even like shows like Housewives Clubs, all of that is just entertainment.
Even these cartoons you have to watch out for her. So as long as you're there to be able to explain to her, that's what's going to matter. I get the violent part that she's speaking of, but it's going to have to come a time when you have to teach her to defend herself as well. So it might be a good thing. It'd be one thing if she was playing Mortal Kombat or what is it? The other one.
Thing. And so me growing up as a kid, I was into the wrestling. I was into the Street Fighter games and the Mortal Kombat games. But in school, getting bullied on, I was never the one to fight back. I was never the violent one. So I don't think wrestling affected me.
Right.
It wasn't until later on when I got older and I just started wanting to defend myself and be more outspoken. But
or even know that you could defend yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Without being so violent. Has there ever been a time where you were taken there though?
Oh, plenty of times.
Oh, plenty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You fought? How dare you?
Okay, so I have several friends. One of my best friends, Jason, who is a state trooper in North Carolina.
Okay.
Jason was in the Marines. And, Jason taught me a couple of different things that some of the Marines do. And you and I both worked at Spectrum.
Yeah.
And we both took those trainings.
Yeah.
Handle with care trainings.
Right.
And one of the supervisors or the managers that teaches that is Supervisor Wells. Teaches you a lot of different things without weapons. And so sometimes you are able to use your hands without physically fighting.
Or hurting.
Yeah, you can pretty much put someone on the
pressure
floor.
points. Yeah.
Yes, just by using just a couple of fingers.
Yeah, you done been around Wells too long.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Wells. We're going to talk about him in a minute. So, National Daughters Day. Yeah, I seen that. I must have forgot about it. I seen all your postings about her. So, Mom, I seen postings about the text messages.
Yeah.
And it's only because coming from experience, I've never, probably one guy, Derek Jones, that worked at Spectrum, he's another awesome dad.
Yes.
And I've reached out to him. I'm waiting. Derek, I need you on the show. Amazing
we
father.
follow each other on Facebook, so.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing father. So when I seen that or read those text messages, I thought of him and even myself, like, I don't think you guys get enough recognition. One, because we don't see it a lot. However, when we do, it's like, oh my God, really, you are? And the things that you were saying was all the things that I was saying and going through. And not saying all guys is bad, but I never seen a guy say the things a woman says.
Yes.
Does she have a rapport with mom?
She does. Mom basically gets because she's spending this weekend with mom, so mom would get her
Okay.
on the weekends. But before we got to that point, there was a struggle, and basically just raising my daughter for years, without mom. I just wanted a little help, was just
Yeah.
asking for a little help, and so since because she wasn't helping me out financially, or helping me with getting the hair done and things like that, I had to. I didn't know anything about the state of Michigan and child
Right.
support, and
Yeah.
so when I first applied for that, she tried to, fight me on that, and even in the court. But after that, she came and apologized to me and
Good.
said that you are an awesome father, and she appreciated that, and
See?
so therefore, the court, granted me, the child support.
Wow. And you're an awesome person for realizing that he's an awesome dad. Really. Wow. Wow. And it's sad to have to go through all of that. And some people see things when they see it. But you don't want, because once we were in a relationship, so now we're at each other.
Yes.
And we don't know for the sake of that child. We don't have to be together, but if that child sees that mom and that father coexisting, that's a big thing to them mentally. When you don't, it's like ripping the child from one side to the next. That's why I could never go to court, say things about my kid's father, even though deep inside, Jesus, deep inside, I had a whole lot of anger, thoughts. But in the child's eyes, my mom, my dad can't do no wrong. Sometimes they don't even understand what the hell is mom and daddy going through or talking about. So for the sake of that child, you don't have to like me, I don't have to like you, but when it comes to our child, we're going to come together and make the best decision for that child.
Yes, and what's interesting in the state of Michigan, and I don't know how all the other states handle parenting, co-parenting, child support, but everything from what I've been reading and people telling me about is Michigan is more of a woman or mother state.
Yeah.
And not, therefore you see more men are being taken to court for child support and being put in jail for not taking care of that. And so when I went into court, I was like, well, I don't know how they're going to see me.
Right.
I'm a man,
Yeah.
although I'm taking care of my daughter.
Yeah.
Are they going to still see things?
In the woman's eyes.
The woman's eyes. And although in court, I will say that, she was there crying, in front of the judge, and I didn't put her down or bash her any way in court, but it was amazing how the judge, being a judge, she saw all through that.
Wow.
And even complimented me of just being there as a dad and a father, and granted me child support.
And you didn't have to say anything about her.
I didn't even need an attorney. I was thought I was going to need an attorney that day, and I did not get an attorney.
See?
And God was there with me.
Because you very rare see a guy come. So if a guy come, it's something wrong. What's going on? Why is he in here? Oh, because we usually in here bashing y'all, and not myself. Because I don't feel friend of court should be in our business. They wasn't there when we was in the room, so they shouldn't be involved.
Yeah.
Sometimes you needed to establish paternity. However, and I'm gonna just use myself as an example. I put none of my kids' father on child support. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. God gonna walk with me as He has, and seeing, and what I need to do. And I got better at it. I got good at it.
Yes.
Oh my God. I don't even know how I did it, young, but damn it. Ashanti about to be 17.
Yes.
I did it. You
And
talking about somebody?
and she watched everything that you did.
when she graduate, I'm gonna be graduating with her. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip across the. It's just a long 20 something years to give yourself. You have to forget about yourself, and you're not supposed to do that. But as a parent, you want. I mean, it's not about you anymore. You forget about yourself. You lose yourself sometimes. You even stop living. So, whew, Jesus, that's just a load off saying.
Yes,
Jesus
yes,
Christ. So when I see guys like yourself do an amazing job, you know, you didn't even have to talk down to her. You just want to be an amazing dad for your daughter. I've learned that I can only be a mother and do my part, and don't worry about the rest. If you show up, you show up. If you don't, I just know I got to show up and show out.
Yes.
And I did, damn it. I did it. Jesus, I did it. Good job for you, Young.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I put down justice for algebra in the text messages. Like, I was afraid to share my story and whatever it is, but you never know. Your stories and journeys are similar to other people. You're not walking alone. There's not nothing wrong with you.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, and so many people gave me feedbacks, and it was encouraging to listen to everybody's feedback and what they have been through. And majority of them are women. You know, I don't think I've gotten one feedback to this day from a guy that said that he was in my shoes. All of the feedback I got were from the ladies sharing that they had the responsibilities of doing this alone and on their own.
And parents don't understand, like, it's just not about the bedroom. I wasn't smart enough to have children when I was stable. All the activities, the hair done, the clothes, the doctor's appointments, the parent-teacher conference, the sports, having a child, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
We don't think about that. Well, at least I did. But I learned very quick. So, bringing in 2024, you have a new addition to the family, Miss Mia.
Oh yes, the lady love of my life. So, several things in 24, new chapters.
Yes.
That's one of course, although, we met in 23, but just welcoming her into 24, and also just turned 50, so that's a new chapter in my life altogether.
And as I see all on your Facebook that her and algebra gets along.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Love a child. I mean, what more can you ask for? And not saying that all the great things are going to stop, but just seeing you, move on and move up. Things we used to talk about in Spectrum, and see everything that's going on for you now.
Yes, yes.
That's good. I love that.
Thank you.
Hi, Mia. Y'all spend a lot of time together. Y'all go everywhere together. Y'all done been out of town. I see y'all went to Cranbrook Art Museum.
Yes.
I do the planning with our retreats at Wayne State.
Okay.
So I have the pleasure of going out to different sites to see exactly where we're going to have the retreats. And Cranbrook, expensive.
Yes.
However, beautiful. Beautiful. You went out there just to visit, or you had some work?
Yes, just to visit and look at one of the art exhibition that they had going on at the time by actually a few black artists. And I almost had applied for a position at Cranbrook, but it was only actually for this year's during the summer to be the art instructor for the kids camp, but that would conflict with my job, because I have to be at Spectrum still during the summer, but I would have loved to be able to do Cranbrook art, as an art instructor.
It's not different time. The same time you got to be at Spectrum,
Same
you have
time,
to be.
Yes.
And it's only summer?
Only summer.
Oh,
but if it was a full time, I would say yes, I would have.
Of course. Yeah. It was beautiful out there. I think I want to go back. If Wayne State will give it a little bit more funds, we can have a retreat there. It was beautiful out there, quiet, all the green, but it was everything. Nothing looked like.
Wow.
Yeah, I liked it. I loved it, actually. now your 50th birthday party that I wasn't invited to.
Well, you saw some of your old coworkers there.
I did. I seen Matt. I seen Mitch. And Wells.
Yes.
He cut off his dreads.
Yes.
He cut off his dreads?
He cut the dreads off.
What brought it on?
I don't know what his decision was. He could probably explain it to you better. But, you know, I used to have dreads, too.
I seen it, the picture.
And my dreads had got this far down at some point. But up here, even in my 40s, my hair was thinning. And so it was time to let it go. And so
maybe that was his.
I let him go. And I've been rocking the bald head since then.
That's a big law one there. Not too bad.
That would have been exciting to put that in the
right.
though. Yeah.
He probably gonna do some tweaking on that, but yeah. Okay. So, well, I only seen Matt, Mitch, and Wells there. Was anybody else there that I missed?
That was it. From a few other people were invited, but just could not make it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So she planned the whole 50th?
She planned the whole 50th.
How did she know you wanted to have it there, or she just surprised you?
Growing up, not really celebrating my birthday that way. Yeah, I've never really had a birthday party, you know, like that. Or when she asked me what I wanted to do, I'm like, I don't.
Right.
And she was like, "This is your 50th.
Right.
You know, you gotta." And so I said, "Well, okay, well, let's have a party for close family and friends." Probably later on after that, although everything was already booked. I'm a huge fan of Gordon Ramsay, the cook, and I watch every show from Hell's Kitchen to Master Chef.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned it to her. I'm like, man, we probably should have just went to Vegas and went to Hell's Kitchen. She said, you could have said that. We would have done that. And so, but you know, it's all good. But you know, we are. Put it this way, we're going to share so many wonderful, amazing moments together in the future. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, you like to cook?
I love to cook.
Really?
Yes.
What do you like? What do you cook?
My favorite dish I love to cook is enchiladas. Yes, I love enchiladas. I love cooking meatballs. I love making tacos, and I love making jambalaya.
Jambalaya, yeah.
But I would love to learn how to cook soul food.
Okay.
I want to learn how to make some dressing. I want to learn how to make. I do make my own greens and cornbread, but it ain't nothing to brag about. But I want to be able to make those grandma type of
absolutely, because we ain't got that.
Yes.
Yeah, you making me hungry. Wow. Mia, you got you one. A good dad, good art, good food, good man. Wow. Okay. So, in this part of the interview, your posts, the meanings behind your posts, when you post these posts.
Okay.
Okay. So, JJ and Michael, I can just almost know why you post that. They should have ate the oatmeal.
Oh, yeah. Looking at some of the characters that are still alive today. You know, of course, John Amos is still here, who played the father, but JJ, Michael, and Thelma, they are still here with us, and Thelma still looks really good. And I don't know how old she is, but you know, and I'm not putting down everybody else, but you know, when you look at JJ and Michael,
you want to know how old they really are.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like, you know, they have spent some time in the sun. You know, maybe have been, I don't know if they're smokers or drinkers, but definitely Thelma hasn't quite aged the way they have aged. And so that particular post that you're referring to, I said maybe they should have ate Thelma's oatmeal when she kept trying to make them oatmeal in the morning.
Exactly. Well, Michael didn't look like himself. I didn't even know that was Michael. The only
Right.
reason I knew is what you said.
Yes.
I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I wish I could show the Taraji picture. If you send this pic of Taraji looking at somebody, that meant you was underpaid.
Oh yes. So.
Oh, well, she do got this clip out that she's saying she's underpaid. Absolutely.
So Taraji, being a female actress, has come out, and I think it was pretty much after they did the movie
Color Purple,
the musical. And although
so it is a musical.
The movie itself is a musical, and I still haven't watched it yet. I mixed reviews. I've watched the reviews. Some people like it, some people didn't. I believe some of the older generation of people liked it, but they did not like it how they took a classic and turn it into a musical without it being a stage play. Some of the young people who never saw The Color Purple didn't like it because they said we sat through a musical. And the movie did not do as well, and I believe a couple of shots were thrown at Taraji. But she came out and stated that she doesn't get paid like some of the other actors get paid. She's on the lower paying role and things like that. And so that particular, I saw a picture of her and I posted it on there. And sometimes we can look at our lives and whatever we're doing, wherever we're working at, and we can say, hey, we not get paid enough. I'm worth so much more than this. So we can kind of feel where she's coming from. And me being a teacher, we don't get paid like we should. So yeah, I can agree with her. Like, as a teacher, I should get paid.
Years. Yeah, for years. I seen Mosley comment up under your picture. He's still there? I mean, under your post. Is Mosley still at Spectrum?
No.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
No.
Yeah. I seen him. I think everybody could relate. Cat Williams interview.
Yes. Grabbing that cognac.
Yeah. What were your thoughts behind some of what he was saying?
I thought he was a brave person to
very.
Come out and state, some different things that was on his mind and to get some things off his chest. And he upset quite a few people.
I was going to ask
doing
you,
that.
Do you think he was wrong? I mean, his journey is his journey.
My thing is to being American, we always have a freedom of speech. Just as we sit here today, there's a freedom of speech. Sometimes you could be a little bit more cautious to how you say things or how you put things out there. But in this world we live in today, where we can watch everything on TV and everything on YouTube and everything on TikTok, that
it wasn't like he was exposing anything anybody didn't know.
Sometimes people just expose themselves.
Yeah. I think he's one of the people. Didn't he get blackballed for a while?
I don't know if he really got blackballed. I do remember him saying that he turned down some roles because he didn't want to be put in a position where it was cutting off his manhood.
Yeah, he had to do something.
We have a lot of actors and black actors, male actors that take on roles that they put on the dress. And I've often asked myself, if I had stayed into acting, if they wanted me to put on a dress for $1 million or $2 million, would I have done it? I probably would have been the best Madea too. I can remember. I can't remember what is the actor name. That played the Green Mile, the
big guy.
Yeah, and I remember when he stated one time where how much they wanted him to play an ape in Planet of the Apes, and some people were saying, well, you know what they say about us black people? Black people are apes. You shouldn't have taken that role as playing an ape. But for that amount of money, I believe the comedian Steve Harvey came and said, man, if I had to get that much money for playing the ape, I would have been the best ape.
Right.
I would have jumped on the table.
So he did play it?
I do believe. I don't know if he played the ape or not. Yeah. But the idea was just like, how much are you willing
that part
to do for money?
That part.
Is it for your career, to better your career? Is it
Right.
for money? So I don't know. Sometimes, we just put in situations where we don't know if we're going to accept them or
Right.
not accept them.
Well, for me, it depends on what's the meaning behind
Yes.
it. Like, I probably would have thought about a big black guy playing a big black ape. What are you guys really trying to say? And then I think about this Nickelodeon special that
Yes.
just came out.
Yes.
Those kids has a lot of trauma going on. And I don't know if parents really paid attention to what they were really physically, mentally going through for that amount of money. And like you said, some turn out to be alcoholics, on drugs, just dealing with a lot. Until now, 20 years later, you
Yes.
find out literally what happened to them and why they were going through that. We're on the outside looking in like, hey, this guy is crazy. Like I use Orlando.
Yes.
He's very smart, very intelligent. Is he playing a role? I don't know. Is he really that way? I don't know. But some of what he said is very true. What is Hollywood really doing to the people?
I don't know. I could say this, that, during a time where whether we want to go into acting or want to go into the music business, sometimes we just want to look at the now, our now moments. And sometimes our now moments, maybe we're struggling.
Yeah.
Financially with a house or raising a family. And you're looking at this contract and this money will make my life so much better.
And they know that, though.
Yes, now I can pay bills.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to worry about being in debt. And so then you get caught up with everything else that go on, and years later you look at it and now you've been traumatized.
Yeah. Oh, that's what that really means. Because if you really look at that Nickelodeon special, some of those skits were inappropriate for children. Like the potato scene, it was just, if you really think about it and you look back on it, like I'm hearing about Disney, the meaning behind some of the Disney films, and there's nothing wrong with being a homosexual. To each his own. But you can't project that on everybody, especially some kids. So,
and even in the music world, and I don't want to, really put this out there in the interview, but allegedly, Diddy is being accused for a number of different things.
Yeah.
And there are even some male musicians or artists that are coming out now and say, well, in order for me to get this contract, I had to do this.
yeah.
But they were looking at that now moment.
Yeah.
I needed the moment. I needed this money then to pay for the bills. And so now that you accepted that, now you're looking back at the trauma part of it.
Right. So as a kid, do you feel like they really didn't understand and an adult should have stepped in?
Yes.
Okay.
As a child, of course, the brain is and the mind is always growing, and they're not, they don't know everything. And you hear about the different victims of R. Kelly. They were kids; they didn't know much, but the parents were in charge, sending their kids there, signing a contract for the kids, and I believe more the parents was looking at the now, not worrying about leaving my child alone with these people or this person. And so years later, once you hear about all of this,
and it was one parent on that Nickelodeon special where she wasn't having it. It kind of ruined her and her son's relationship for so many years. However, for them to get a grips of it now, him to look at it, that's when their relationship ended. And this documentary was when they came back. That many years without my child, I think I would have probably been walking in her shoes versus trying to satisfy my child. She kept her baby out of harm's way, sacrificing her and her son's relationship. And you could see the hurt back then, and you could see the hurt now.
Yes.
So I commend her on standing her ground. That child was a child, and she had to do what she had to do as a parent to keep her son safe. So even though it cost him his career, and I think he said he became alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh wow, that's a bit much. Um, would you rather swag surf or to be
Would I rather swag surf or to be
swallowed?
It depends on the day.
No, that was in church.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was
yes.
one of your posts.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Because there was a
Not
church
depending
in
on the
Atlanta.
day.
Yeah. Well, you know, the swag surfing song
Yeah.
is more of Atlanta song.
Yeah.
You know, by Atlanta artists, and I believe it was Bishop William Murphy. The night of New Year's Eve, played the song for his congregation. And of course, you know, people got on social media and said, "Oh, he shouldn't have done that." Then there was others that said, "Well, he has a number of young people in this." I can't too much comment on that because going to church, you know, being growing up in church, you know, pretty much all of my life. Even in the young people's church, you know, sometimes we do things in the youth church that they don't necessarily do in the adult part of the church. So I get it where you're using some secular music or songs. Some of the
You trying to understand it? Yeah, because I'm still trying.
well, a lot of the gospel songs that you hear today, and whether it's, I don't know, Kirk Franklin
Yeah.
or Fred Hammond, sometimes they use a little bit of bit in their music, and because you're not listening to the lyrics, you don't know that they borrowed this from a secular song. But the secular world does it also. You might listen to a R&B or a rap song. You're like, wait a minute.
That's
They
from
took
back in the day.
Yeah. Killer Mike new album
Yeah.
took a lot of different samples from the Clark sisters on his album, and so therefore you can listen into some R&B songs. Like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. That's a gospel song. So, as a music world, they borrow from each other. But going back to whether this should be playing in the church or not, I don't know. And then so the whole would you rather be swallowed? Someone actually took a little sample out of T.D. Jakes' entire message, and I didn't hear the whole message.
That's what I want to hear.
I would like to hear the whole message too,
Yeah.
but the only part they've been playing is "Would you rather be swallowed?" and they've been
Using
going away
it.
with that. So,
Yeah.
So in church, swag surfing or being swallowed.
Yeah, you don't have to answer that. I was just trying to see what did that come from when you
I want
posted.
to still be good out there to my church family
Yeah.
and friends.
But I mean, we're gonna be honest. It's just certain things that don't need to be done
Right, yeah.
or said. I don't hell or damn in the church. But fucking, that was a bit much. That was a bit. I'm trying to see what example you can't modify that word or.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know where he was coming from. Yeah, the church is using profanity, talking about sex, and the smacking the woman's butt. That was one of your posts. I don't know what the pastor was up there doing, smacking her butt. I'm trying to,
Yeah.
or Saz, he was. I don't know what.
I believe that particular one was, and I don't even know if I want to call this pastor name out.
You don't have to.
But yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, in church, everybody has phones now, and so, you know, everybody's always being recorded, and so sometimes, you know, they'll record part of something, and you don't see the full view of it, and so I believe that particular one is when a pastor was praying or laying hands on a female, but it was questionable because being a man, should you put your hands somewhere? For example, if a woman is going through breast cancer, do you put your hands on her breast and pray for the breast, or do you just put your hands on her head and pray for the total body? So,
Yeah.
being a man in this world today, I probably will have to be careful where I put my hands.
Right.
Just like being a teacher.
Right,
You have to
for
be
sure.
careful where you put your hands.
Or it's nothing wrong with this.
Yes.
I don't think this.
Right.
Like, you know, then where was her husband and where was his wife?
Exactly.
If they are married. Yeah. So you got to be mindful. It was a post on your Facebook, Being a Man. It was a song done by a father and a son. Were they father and son?
By Darius Rucker.
Yep. Oh, so you know them?
Yes, Darius Rucker, who is a black country artist slash.
Is he?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Darius actually has been around since the 90s. I can't think of the name of the group. Well, the song is "I Don't Want to Be With You." So if you've ever heard that song, Hootie and the Blowfish. So
Okay.
Darius
Yeah,
Rucker is from Hootie and the Blowfish. But yeah, they, and I don't even know if that's exactly his son, but basically those two guys have teamed up and been making music.
Yeah.
And it is so astonishing and amazing, the lyrics.
The truth.
Yes, the music that they're making. That particular song, they're talking about being a man in a man's world and being a black man in a man's world.
Yeah. And he was talking about all. Is that a real song?
Yes.
Did they make that song for real?
Yes.
Okay. What's the name of it? Being a Man?
I believe it's called Being a Man, and I don't know if the entire album is out yet.
Okay.
They just been putting like different samples out there on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for that. It sounds very interesting. I don't think we know exactly, because I see how hard it is for a black man. Y'all don't get no credit at all. Jesus Christ. Y'all don't get credit at all. And it's time for that, because we do have good men out here. Just ain't came across them. But yes, I like that song. It was a Caucasian lady on there talking about black kids' names.
Yes, and well, being a teacher, and you work with youth too. You know, black people, we can give our kids some pretty long names, and the excuse has always been, they come from Africa. We've been doing this because of Africa. And you look at a lot of particular black girl names, a lot of the names always end in A. I don't know, Lakeisha, Shawanda, Brenda,
Shaniqua, Shaquilla.
Exactly. And it's always been said it's because it comes from Africa, ending in A. So that's why we always name our kids, give our kids a name that ends with A. But also, it ain't just those names, but it's just a lot of other names that are just, sometimes a parent can name their kid Champagne or Mercedes, something different. And so there was a Caucasian lady, was saying that, why do black people name their kids where it's either they're gonna not know how to spell it in school, or they're gonna apply for a job one day, and the person that looks at that is gonna throw the application in the trash, whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
I also stated in that same post that where, as a teacher, sometimes there are a lot of Caucasian teachers. Teachers from different places where our kids can't pronounce their name or their last name.
Lewinsky.
Yeah, so therefore they have to call them Miss or Mr. Z.
Yeah.
Miss B, because they can't pronounce their whole name.
Yeah. So it's both. Yeah. I think we take over the first names.
Yes.
If we can, Is Tamika from Africa?
I don't know if it's originated from Africa, but when you hear Tamika, you know that's. And I believe there are probably some white Tamikas out there.
Is it?
But when you hear Tamika, you just automatically assuming that this is a white person.
A white person?
I'm sorry, black person.
Yeah, I don't think
black person, yes.
And I fell in love with my name. I like it, mine. I don't. But Tamika, I didn't like at first. DMX, dog, Tamika.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that. Like, what y'all saying? So, yeah, I fell in love with it, though, because I'm a different type of Tamika. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No more relationship advice from Steve Harvey.
No. Well, although he's married, we don't see what's going on behind his walls every day.
Absolutely.
Because he's a celebrity. But there's been, some things going on or said about his household, and that's good. I mean, or I ain't gonna say that's good, but if I'm gonna take some relationship or marriage advice from anyone, it's gonna be someone that I'm more closely around with, who are in a relationship or marriage, a good one, and for a long time, like.
That could show that.
Yes,
Yeah.
give me some pointers.
Yeah.
Give me some advice.
Yeah, yeah. Are they divorced?
No, they're not divorced.
Oh, okay. So there's some things going on.
Yeah, but of course, Steve came out and said a lot of those things were rumors.
Okay. Something with Miss Strawberry Letter?
Well, they were saying, I believe, allegedly, that Steve Harvey's wife was sleeping with the cook. But Steve came out and said, people are hating. Those are just rumors.
Wow. I thought he was sleeping with Shirley Strawberry.
That I haven't heard.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, no. What's her name again?
I
Steve's
believe
wife?
Margie.
Margie, yeah.
Yes.
I like Margie.
Mm-hmm.
The Good Times Netflix. That was the first time I seen it on your...
Yeah, I was going to take a look at it, but so many people are saying don't watch that. Even, Bernadette, I can't remember Thelma's real name, Bernadette, but even is upset about the whole Good Times on Netflix. It has nothing to do with the Good Times we grew up watching.
Right,
of course,
the struggle.
I believe the background is supposed to be these are the grandkids of, I don't know, of Thelma,
JJ
Michael,
and all that?
yeah, but I haven't watched it because so many people are saying that, wow, this just puts a bad light on the black community, period. Although, I mean, some of those things may be happening.
Or true.
Are true, but I don't want to view bad image
Right.
on the black community
Right.
that way. That's why I don't watch certain, I'm not going to say I don't watch all black movies or
Right.
all Tubi movies, but a lot of times I chose not to watch it because it shares a bad light.
Or why they just don't show the better times instead of the good
Right,
times.
yes.
It's better times. Things do get greater later.
Yes.
And they just want to reflect on the negative part of how people may have grew up.
Yeah.
But we got some good black families, that didn't make certain mistakes that certain families made. Yeah, and they just, just put us down. So I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not, but I was looking at it on your page. New music from Beyonce, Lil Jon, and Andre 3000.
Oh, so I basically was stating that for me, I thought it was nice to see that we have some black artists, musical artists that are getting out of their particular genre that they're in, like Beyonce going into country music. A lot of people are accepting it, both black and white people, but there's also some criticism is she needs to stay in her lane.
Really?
And people will say, well, Beyonce is from Texas, she does have a country background, so why can't she sing country music?
And it don't sound bad.
Yeah, it don't sound bad. It has a nice little dance, part to it. So, we'll see what happens. I was telling people that I don't know if it was a particular move, because her and Jay-Z loves to do power moves. And it was so many times where I believe Beyonce was slanted from receiving one of the top awards, Artist of the Year, because it was always going to someone else, or to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And we remember back in the day where Kanye jumped on stage and took the mic and said, I'm going to let you have the mic back in a minute, but I just want to let y'all know that Beyonce, is, the greatest artist of all time. And, And of course, ever since then, you know, he's been criticized
Yeah,
for that.
for sure.
And Beyonce has still have yet to receive that award. And so I said that maybe this is a power move. Maybe she'll go into where Taylor Swift did the country. Maybe I do some country. And let's see what
It take me.
Yeah.
It don't sound bad. I don't know if she's gonna top Taylor Swift, but she's kind of still making noise.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't. I seen Andre 3000 and his meditation. It's supposed to be
And the flute.
the
music,
flute.
Yes.
Now I didn't see Lil Jon. How is his music about to be
I
meditated?
haven't heard it either, but they were saying that Little John is supposed to be making some light meditation music. And if you know Little John, everything about him is crunk. Loud.
Yeah, I ain't about to do that one.
Put your drinks up.
Yeah.
Put your hands up. Turn
Jumping
down.
up.
Turn down for what?
Right.
Which is played at every bar in America.
Yeah.
You know, so from here going from that to some quiet music.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, we about to see what that be like. The picture you had, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, with all the knives.
Yes.
I wish I can get that in my living room. I have that up on my wall, but I don't have the knife thingy. But that was a good metaphor. I liked it. That.
And you just giving me an idea. Maybe I should come up with something to paint
Absolutely. That was a good one. And he dodging every one of them. The Alabama Brawl.
Oh, the Alabama Brawl. Yes.
Boy. And not that I like violence, but they had pushed him to a point. Jesus Christ. What did you think about that?
I was really just happy. You know, the footage that I watched, you know, I saw different angles. I was really happy. When there's a time for black people to come together, we come together.
You hear me?
And whenever we do come together, we share some type of fear with the world. And that's why back in the day when black people came together to create the Black Panther Party, the world was like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
We had to break that up.
They
didn't break up the Ku Klux Klan
No,
or
they
all
didn't.
the other white supremacist groups. But when we come together, we become a national threat.
I guess that's going to be the loud one.
So they are close together. What? Ask him what time, just so I can check my meter.
What time is it, Lee? 2:52?
Oh, you think I should? Yeah, I'm gonna run out.
Yeah, you might wanna.
Okay. If I take it.
Yeah, cause we at the end. So yeah, go ahead. I don't want you to get no ticket.
He could pause.